Okay, we have a bit of a situation here. Earlier this week we had a bit of a snowstorm, got about 10-12 inches over a couple of days. You can see the snow's all melted now, but this is what happened here. Have this little fir tree there, no more than maybe 6 or 7 inches in diameter, if that, break in half, and took out my firewood rack. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup today, myself and Ava. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, we're going to do a little storm cleanup today. I'm going to get rid of this little fir tree that took out my my firewood rack. Today I'm going to be using this electric chainsaw. It's a Greenworks 40 volt. It's a fairly new saw. I've used it a few times. This is using the stock chain, original chain that came on it. It's a Oregon chain. It's a 14-inch bar, and I have the original 2.5 amp hour battery in here, and in case that one dies, I have a backup 2.5 amp hour battery, and we'll see how much we can get done with this little 14-inch chainsaw. And Ava, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be picking up the limbs that I can actually move and putting them in a pile over there.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I got the remaining part of the tree over here where I can cut on it. Chainsaw still in the original battery, I haven't charged it or anything. And I'm going to use this guy today, Log Jack by Woodchuck. I've not used this before, it's brand new. Bought it on Amazon, so we're going to try it out for this log, see how it goes. So that's it for this battery. Had 1.5 more cuts to go before it died out. So that's why you bring 2 batteries with you, I guess. It almost made it. Okay, so I have my second battery. This one is actually a reconditioned battery. I think I also bought it off of Amazon. It wasn't very expensive. But it's also 2.5 amp hour battery as the original one is. The only odd thing, it's a little bit shorter in terms of height than the original battery. And it does fit. Of course, it has the same connections in that. But there's a bit of a gap between the chainsaw and the battery. It's kind of odd, especially if it's raining. Now there is a drain hole, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. But dirt and debris definitely get down in there, and it's sort of an odd thing, but it does work. Okay, so I have the stump of the tree here. I'm going to measure it. So I got about just over 9 inches that way and 7.5 inches this way. So that's the thickest part of the tree, just to give you an idea of the size of the tree. Now, yeah, on average, these rounds, this one's about 5 1/4, 5.5, 5.5, about 6 inches there. So 5 to 6 inches on average, I would say. I counted 32 of these rounds, excluding the top part of the tree because I didn't count it. But so 32, and on average, I cut them about a foot and a half in length. So I'm not, roughly I would estimate about 45 to 50 feet total tree length. So that was the height of the tree. So that's basically what you can expect with this 40-volt chainsaw. Like I said before, we almost made it through the entire tree just on one battery, so I think that's pretty good. It never bogged down. It did slow down a bit. Actually cut off once or twice when I was cutting the stump here. I don't think I got that on camera, but there's quite a bit of weight on the chain, and that's probably why. But it cut off, and I squeezed the trigger, and off it went again. So no big deal. Besides that, I never saw it bog down at all. You just got to keep in mind, with the cordless chainsaws, you can't push them too hard. You got to just let them work and do their own thing, cut at their own speed. If you're pushing down on it, you can get away with that on a gas chainsaw. The electric, usually the controller will cut off if you reach maximum current limit as a safety precaution. So just let it cut at its own pace. It's a little bit slower. This cuts a little slower again than a comparable gas chainsaw, but not too slow to be quite functional. Certainly it's very lightweight, very agile, super easy to use, of course. There's no gas, no fumes. I really enjoy that part of it. Overall, I'm quite happy with this chainsaw, and this is a real-world test. I think this is a very typical kind of a situation that I would use a chainsaw like this for, and can't really complain. It did the job.